Unfortunately, I'm going to ask you actually to think a little bit today, so you may want to focus just a little bit here. You're going to want to take decent notes, Riley, Harrington. You just got to have St. Patrick's Day, which is a big day in the life of the O'Harringtons. I'm guessing that's Irish, right? Harrington? Very Irish? Like, you guys still eat, like,
No,
corned beef and hash and cabbage or whatever.
my dad likes corned beef.
So salty for my wife, but it's
I
okay.
don't like it.
Okay, listen to me, Mandy Marshall, listen to me. Listen to me. Focus on this. Okay. Okay. This is what you have in your mind right now. We're talking about volume of prisms. And right now, in your mind, you are thinking specifically of rectangular prisms. Okay, because we've gone through this. The volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. You have that in your notes somewhere. Okay? But you have to put that aside because that is only works for rectangular prisms. Okay? Only if it is a box shape that is all made up of all rectangles does this little gem work, and feel free to use it as much as you want with that. Okay? But we are looking at today, what if my prism is not a rectangular prism? What if it is a prism, maybe that is a triangular prism? What if it looks like this? Say I start off with my triangle that looks like this, and it shoots off like this, and it's like that, and we got this and this. Okay? I'll throw some dimensions out at you here. We'll just make it easy for us. Let's say this is 10, 12, and 20. Okay. You are no longer, if it's not a rectangular prism, you cannot use this formula. You have to use this next formula I'm going to give you, works for any prism at all. And it is this. It's a little more, it's interesting. Its volume equals the area of the base times the height. This right here is your go-to volume formula. Now please don't stop listening now because you'll get it wrong if you do this the way that you think it needs to be done. Okay? In order to get this right, you have to know what the base are and what the height are in this shape. And maybe it isn't what you're thinking, because some of you look at this shape and you go, oh, the height has to be 12. That is not correct. Okay? Not correct yet, and I'll tell you why. The first thing we have to establish is what is the base. And for you to figure out what the base is, I think I've talked about this. This is my loaf of bread theory. We've talked about the loaf of bread theory, have we not? Okay. If you are looking for, theory. If you're looking for the base of that shape, we too often think that base means something that it's setting on. And that, unfortunately, that triangular prism is not really setting on its base. I thought I had it here. Okay. Just because this thing sits like this doesn't make this bottom rectangle the base. Okay, the base is the shape that if it was a loaf of bread, you could continue to slice it along that and you'd always get the same exact shape. See, if I took this and sliced it, if you said the rectangle was the base and I kept slicing it parallel to that rectangle, by the time I get up to this little piece, I'm going to have a little sliver of bread that's you can't even put in the toaster. Okay? So, if you're looking at this shape, if you're looking at this shape, what shape is the base? Riley?
Triangle.
Yes. This This is the base of the shape. Even though it's not setting on that, that is the base. So if I was using this formula, I need to find the area of the triangle. So the volume is going to equal the area of the triangle. And then, children, you have to figure out what the height is. Well, just like with other things, when we talk about base and height, and we talk about being perpendicular, the height has to be perpendicular to the base. Or you have to imagine it that if you did set it on its base, how tall would it be? So in this thing, if I took this and flipped it and set it on its triangle, how tall would it be, Delaney? If I took this like this and plopped it like this and rotated it and set it on top, how high would it be? 20. So the height of this shape is 20, even though it looks like it's the length or the width or whatever you want to call it. So as you're doing these problems, I would recommend, if you're doing a volume one, I put the height down right away so I don't get lost and confused, because what will happen, especially on this one, is there's two different heights in this shape. There's the height of the prism, but there's also a height of the triangle that you're finding the area of, and they're not the same. The height of the triangle is 12. The height of the prism is 20. And you need the height of the triangle to find the area of the triangle. The area of the triangle is 1/2 base times height of the triangle, not of the shape, times 20. And the base and the height are these two right here. They form the right angle. So it's 1/2 of 10 times 12. And after I find that, or during I find that, I'm going to multiply that by 20 because that's the height of the shape. So what is the volume of this whole thing? Well, it doesn't matter. It's, let's take half of 20, that's 10. 10 times 10 is 100. What's 100 times 12? It is 1,200, whatever we call that, inches cubed, or whatever it is. Or whatever it is. I should find what they have here. Let's do one more. Let's do this one. This one will make your life really exciting. And this is why math is by far the most exciting subject you'll ever come across. There's my house, as it would be. And I'm asking you for the volume. Here is the gist. First of all, if you cut corners, or if you don't do this slowly, or use a big enough piece of paper to do this, you'll probably get it wrong. Let's walk through it step by step. Let's make these all inches. What would be the first thing you would do after you've sketched it on your paper? Write the formula down. So I-1 volume, and the formula we know is the area of the base times the height. What would be the next thing you would do? In my mind, Isabel? Well, but before you can figure out what the height is, you need to know what the base is. So after you get to this point, after you write the formula, decide what the base is. And in this problem here, what is the base? What's my loaf of bread theory telling you, camera pulpit? I'm looking for a shape. It's this house. And that's where I would come over here and go, okay, it's the volume equals the area of, I guess, I would just draw the little house shape here so I don't have to write pentagon because I don't know how to spell it. Then, Isabel, as the third thing, when I rewrite that formula down, I would insert Mr. Height. So I don't forget what it is. What is the height? If I set it on its pentagon, what dimension forms that right angle with the pentagon? Put it on top, set it down. It is Brooklyn Peterson. I take my house, put it on top of its base, set it on top of the pentagon. How tall is it? It will be 18. And I would insert that right here. So I don't forget at the end I need to multiply by 18. Now here it gets complicated because guess what? How are you going to find the area of the pentagon? Do we have a formula for area of pentagon? No. Step number 4, when you find the area of the base, it might take a little bit of doing. The book actually encourages you, and it's not a bad idea, just to take this base and just sketch it on your paper like this so that you don't have to look at it three-dimensionally. What is this? This was 10. This whole thing was 16. In order to find the area of that, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to cut it into a triangle and a rectangle. What's the area of my rectangle? I know it's hard math. 10 times 14. Well, so I don't use 16 because that's not the side. It's 140 for the rectangle. And then I got to find the area of the triangle. The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Well, I know my base is this right here, which is 14, but what's my height? Jaden!
7, 6.
Okay, 6. I just subtract this little part, that 16 minus the 10 from up there. So what's the area of my triangle? 6 times 14 cut in half. We do that. 7 times 6, half of 14 is 7. 7 times 6 is 42. Right? And then what's then the area of my whole pentagonal shape? Well, 140 plus 42 is? See, I can guarantee you, and here's the deal with these, is there's so many steps, and you have to do a bunch of different steps to get there, that if you don't organize yourself, write down them part by part, you'll get to this part here and you'll forget about multiplying by the 18, and you'll think that that was your answer there or something. Now I know my last thing I have to do is take 182 times 18 to get the volume of the whole shape. So if I do that, I don't know if this will work. Hopefully your math is in good shape there. What's that? 65, 16, 114, 0, 182, 6, 7, 2, 3, 2, 7, 6. I could be wrong, but and that's inches cubed. The nice thing is, when you're all said and done, you look like some sort of a genius with all the stuff you have written down here and all those numbers. It's like Einstein sitting with the back blackboard behind him with all those things. Nobody cares. Got that? So please, 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 again, I say this a lot. I only give you a few problems. I expect this to be what those few problems look like. You know, if you just write down 25 as the number there, and I look at it and go, well, how about that? Now, with this whole volume, we just did this. You need to jot this down and put this under a new piece of paper.